Uda back with another one. We got Kenyon Martin, man, defending Kwame Brown and getting at Stephen A. Smith. If you haven't heard, Stephen A. Smith got at Kwame Brown today. It's crazy. Live for like 8 minutes. Got at him, showed plays, all type of craziness. Check it out on our page right now. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let's get into Kenyon Martin and the panel talking about this whole Mixie situation. Let's get to it.
Like I called it out. I said, "Man, Steve, man, you a clown. You couldn't listen. You couldn't make it in these circles, bro."
I wanted to ask you guys about Kwame now coming out saying what he's saying. Kenyon, because there's a lot of pressure. You were number one. Darrell, you came out straight out of high school, so you guys have a unique, true understanding of what he went through at that age. Kenyon, what type of pressure did you feel, or did you feel pressure when you were number one and you were coming off a broken leg too?
Yeah, man. It was more pressure for myself, man, to be honest with you. Like I've never cared and paid attention to what people had to say. Like, not at all. I've never picked up a newspaper after the game. I didn't tune in to Sports Center the first thing in the morning after the games. And after the game we played, I didn't watch it. I didn't read the local beat writer stuff. And I used to tell them, like, you say whatever you want about me, bro. Like, until somebody bring it to me, I don't care what you have to say. I'm saying, but the pressure that comes with being the number one pick, it's obviously there because you're number one pick and people expect you to be a certain thing. Or expect you to average this amount of points, or expect you to make this amount of all-star teams, or whatever the case may be. But everybody knows everybody's career, everybody's path to get there is different. Everybody's career is different. So for me, it was just going out and doing what got me to that point, going out and hooping and playing hard each and every night. And whatever comes with it, whether I score 10, 15, 30, whether we win, lose, I know I went out there each and every night that I laced them up, that I gave it my all. And that was enough for me. Like, I didn't care. And my teammates knew what I stood on. You know what I'm saying? But for Kwame, like, to be hearing this when you're a kid throughout your 20s and they're like, and now you're like, enough is enough. Like, I'm with him. Like I said on my podcast the other day, like, enough. He felt like I'm saying enough is enough. Like, I'm a grown man now. I was a child then when y'all was picking on me. I didn't say nothing then. I haven't said it over the last 20 years, and people still continuously try to paint this narrative that I was a bust or I was this bad or I didn't measure up to this and didn't measure up to that. Like, stop comparing me to other people. Like, I had a great career. I played 13 years. Yeah. I bought my mom a house at 18. Like, come on, man. Like, nothing about that is being a bust. But by media standards, and people who ain't never played them, like Stephen A. and other people, like, try to paint this narrative that you're supposed to be that, or you're supposed to be this. But when you're not mentioning the Darkos of the world, the Nicholas Skeelys Veelys of the world, Andrea Bunyanis, and like, you're not mentioning you're not mentioning these guys over the last how many years that they've been every time the draft comes around, every time that doesn't live up to media expectations, then they compare him to Kwame Brown. Right. Like, people say our draft was the worst draft there was. I don't care. Bought my mom a house, bought my sister a house. My mom haven't worked since then. Like, don't care what nobody else is saying. That's Kwame's approach. Right. And to one of my partners' point on my podcast, MG said, any millionaire that cut their own lawn, y'all need to be afraid of. Leave that man alone. Any millionaire that cut his own grass and fix the tractor and lawnmower drive, y'all better leave that man alone.
And then to touch on that Kwame situation, you know, I played with him twice. I played with him in Golden State for a year, and I played with him in. One thing I can say about Kwame, he's a real one. You know what I mean? Just because, you know, people don't see his career how it should be or whatever. He's a successful black man that made it out the inner city, made it out his situation. He won. No matter if he played 1 second, all the minutes, scored 1 million points, he won. You know what I mean? And that's what I take away from his career, just the person he is. You know what I'm saying? This is a genuine, nice dude, articulate, smart. You know what I'm saying? You hear how he talking, and a lot of people reaching out to me like, man, I never heard Kwame speak. I didn't know he was this and that. Yeah,
exactly.
Hey, listen, because think about it. Unless you were in the local media, because there was no social media back then, in 2001. Unless you lived in DC, you never saw him talk on TV because they never. We were role players. How many interviews did you get after the big time game? Like, hey, the guy that scored 10 and 7 don't get interviewed. They go to score 30. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Mark, you would have some of the big games. You get interviewed. Like me, Ryan, and Darrell, we never got the national interviews. Like, you don't even know that you can talk. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now understanding now that Kwame Brown has something to bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? As far as how he talks, how he goes about his business. And even when I played with him early on in his career, he was never dumb. He was uninformed. So like he didn't understand certain stuff because like we just talked about in high school, the play was for Kwame. You know, if he was playing, now he has to learn how to play. And we're in the league, we would demo a play 2 times, run down the court. Now we got to go do it. We're playing live in scrimmages. That's not high school. No, they didn't have development coaches in 2001 like that. They didn't have guys they didn't have any type of mental awareness.
Babysitters.
Yeah, they didn't have none of that. So all of that comes into play as far as the development of how we got to this situation. And then there were a lot of people kicking them down. Right. And now, hey man, Stephen A. Smith, Matt Ball, he take the name, dog. He's like, hey, I got your name. Hey, Stephen A. Smith just said he about to go back at him. I don't know why. He just gonna make it worse.
Why?
Yeah, he said he gonna go back at him in Stephen A.'s world tonight. So
he said he was gonna leave it alone. Like Stephen A., man, you're a fucking clown, bro. Like I call it out, man. Stephen A., you're a clown. You couldn't make it in these circles, like in these locker rooms and situations, man. Like I think it's super weak. Man, like you just been trying to paint this narrative about this man all these years. Now he got something to say. You're like, I'm not gonna say nothing back. He should have something to say. Now you got something to say. Which one is it?
I hope just apologize, man.
Apologize because Stephen
just apologize,
when you called him a bust, Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, they got a hellified platform, but they left at him for 2 shows in a row, so they were wrong for that. You know, Kwame has something to say about me because like I was condescending when I played with and they'll tell you I'm still condescending. I'm trying to get over that. but
you like Richard Jefferson?
Yeah, I am. Me and Richard kind of get along like we like that. We condescending, but I don't have nothing against. Yeah, I don't go that far. You know that about me, man. I'm trying to talk in this commentating, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't go that. But it's the fact of the matter. I still saw how he was treated, and I want I want all these guys, the players, to handle this behind closed doors. There's not enough of us in this inner circle doing well as Black millionaires for us to get on social media and get the beefing. You know what I'm saying? Because the world is watching, and I look at the comments and how many people are hyping this stuff up. I'm thinking to myself, I don't really see like no white athletes going at each other like that. I don't ever see that. So I'm like, I want these guys to if they have problems, to settle it behind closed doors. But Kwame, right to his, hey, listen, it's Kwame's time right now. He got a hellified platform, so they want to deal with him now. This dude went from 4,000 subscribers on YouTube to over 200,000 in a week. He can do whatever he want and say whatever he want. It's Kwame now. They're going to have to deal with it. Stephen A. want to deal with it. Leave that alone, fam.
Okay, let me ask you this real quick.
Brandon, hold on. Brandon, to your point, Brandon, like, it's just like the mentality that we grew up with in the hood. Like when somebody got a hole in their shoe, or you tease them, or they got to ride the bus, you tease them, or they had to wear the same shirt, you tease them, and then it's just a domino effect. Once one person says something, it just draws attention. Then the next person, they got his jeans was dirty, then he had a hole in it, then he had that shirt on Monday. Now it's just everybody nitpick and try to find the smallest thing that they can add their 2 cents on to make it either that much funnier or just have something to say. Just to your point, like white people don't go through that. I'm saying white athletes don't down other athletes in this. I'm saying it's just us. Of course, I have my personal opinions about the way I feel about certain people and certain things, how my career went, and certain people I played against and things like that. Yeah, a long list of people who I probably thought sucked or whatever the case may be, but it's my personal opinion. I'm not out here every time I get it. Like, oh, I'm sorry as shit. Like, you don't do this. Like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, now that's just us as black people from the hood, man. Like, they're just built on.
Mm-hmm.
Just upgraded to Real ID. Moving up in the world, huh?
Make a plan at dhs.gov/.
Damn. He just bust shots at Stephen A, yo. I want to hear what Stephen A gonna say about that. I bet you won't respond to Kenyon Martin. I bet you that. It's crazy, man. Yeah, Stephen did say he wasn't gonna do nothing. Now all of a sudden he's responding. It's kind of crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? After he done said everything he said about Kwame, it's crazy, man. This video right here that's playing, I already got